Some antique Canadian coins featuring a true oddity. I recently acquired a lot of 7 antique coins of Canada from Barry Gill Alberg, who found them while metal detecting here in Saginaw, Michigan. One of the coins I featured in another video about the Bank of Upper Canada. If you've not seen that one, I would encourage you to take a look. I guess I'll start out with the coin I feel to be somewhat of an oddity. If you have any thoughts on this coin, please leave them in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. The coin is 1 penny from 1852. On the obverse is St. George slaying the dragon, and on the reverse, the coat of arms of Upper Canada. In and of itself, this is not a rare coin, though its history is quite interesting. The history is explained in the other video that I just mentioned. But here's the curious thing. The coin is punched in 11 places, punched or drilled straight through. The holes are the same size, and were likely done with the same tool for each. I have no idea why the coin would have been so punched or drilled. It's actually too bad, as this would have been a very nice specimen otherwise. But then again, if this was an official practice and not somebody just defacing a coin, it may be a valuable piece after all. Next is a badly worn trade token from 1825. While on this specimen, the features of the obverse are very difficult to see. They can be slightly seen. The coin depicts a bust of Charles de Salaberry, who was a lieutenant colonel, and full name, Lieutenant Charles Michael de Rumbury de Salaberry. Whoa, what a name. He was a French-speaking Canadian of the Saginaw class who served as an officer of the British Army in Lower Canada. On the reverse of it is written to facilitate trade, and a woman is shown sitting on what looks like bales of perhaps cotton while holding scales in her hand. The third coin in this small collection features a very nice bust of Queen Victoria, and this coin has excellent detail. On the reverse, surrounded by the leaves, are the words 1 cent. So since Queen Victoria is so honored by a coin of Canada, let's take a little lesson on Victoria and her life and what made her so important, other than just being queen. Victoria Alexandria Victoria was born on May 24, 1819, and died on January 22, 1901. She was the Queen of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland from June 20, 1837 until her death. And from May 1, 1876, she used the additional title of Empress of India. Victoria was the daughter of Prince Edward, Duke of Kent and Strathearn, the fourth son of George III. Both the Duke of Kent and King George III died in 1820, and Victoria was raised under close supervision by her German-born mother, Princess Victoria of Saxe-Coburg-Saalfeld. She inherited the throne at the age of 18 after her father's 3 elder brothers had all died, leaving no legitimate surviving children. The United Kingdom was had already established a constitutional monarchy in which the sovereign held relatively little direct political power. Privately, Victoria attempted to influence government policy and ministerial appointments. Publicly, she became a national icon and was identified with the strict standards of personal morality. Victoria married her first cousin, Prince Albert of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha, in 1840. Their 9 children married into royal and noble families across the continent, tying them together and earning her the nickname the Grandmother of Europe. After Albert's death in 1861, Victoria plunged into deep mourning and avoided public appearances, and as a result of her seclusion, republicanism temporarily gained strength. But in the latter half of her reign, her popularity recovered. Her golden and diamond jubilees were times of public celebration. Her reign of 63 years and 7 months, which is longer than any other British monarch, and the longest of any female monarch in history, is known as the Victorian era. It was a period of industrial, cultural, political, scientific, and military change within the United Kingdom and the world, and was marked by great expansion of the British Empire. She was the last British monarch of the House of Hanover. Her son and successor, Edward VII, belonged to the House of Saxe-Coburg of Gotha, the line of his father. Next in this little collection is a penny from 1902, which shows on its obverse side King Edward VII. This specimen is in fair condition. It is easy to see the king's image, but not easy to read the words on the coin. And then the next coin is from 1902 also, and it is just the same as the one above, the condition being a little bit better. But as we did with Victoria, perhaps we should stop here and look a little bit at the life of King Edward VII, see why he was memorialized on said coin. Edward VII, Albert Edward, was born on November 9, 1841, and he died on May 6, 1910, and was King of the United Kingdom and the British Dominions and Emperor of India from January 22nd to 1901 until his death. The eldest son of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha, Edward was related to royalty throughout Europe. Before his ascension to the throne, he served as heir apparent and held the title of Prince of Wales for longer than any of his predecessors. During the long reign of his mother, he was largely excluded from political power and came to personify the fashionable, leisured elite. He traveled throughout Britain performing ceremonial public duties and represented Britain on visits abroad. His tours of North America in 1860 and the Indian subcontinent in 1875 were popular successes, but despite public approval, his reputation as a playboy prince, soured his relationship with his mother. As king, Edward played a role in the modernization of the British Home Fleet and the reorganization of the British Army after the Second Boer War. He reinstituted traditional ceremonies as public displays and broadened the range of people with whom royalty socialized. He fostered good relations between Britain and other European countries, especially France, for which he was popularly called peacemaker, but his relationship with his nephew, Kaiser Wilhelm II, was poor. The Edwardian era, which covered Edward's reign and was named after him, coincided with the start of a new century, and heralded significant changes in technology and society, including steam turbine propulsion and the rise of socialism. He died in 1910 in the midst of the constitutional crisis that was resolved the following year by the Parliament Act of 1911, which restricted the power of the unelected House of Lords. The coin was issued by the Bank of Montreal, and Bank of Montreal was Canada's first bank, opened for business actually on November 3rd, 1817. It provided Canada's first widely recognized and circulated currency, and has played a major and continuing role in the development of the country. Today, the Bank of Montreal is one of Canada's preeminent financial institutions and a significant presence in the United States and world markets. Norman Waite Harris came to Chicago in the late 1800s to help America expand westward, and in 1882 he founded what has become Harris on the principles of honesty and fair dealing, principles we believe in to this day. In 1847, Samuel Marshall rented half of a Milwaukee cobbler shop and opened Samuel Marshall and Company, an exchange brokerage. He was joined by Charles Isley 2 years later. Together, they built one of Wisconsin's premier financial institutions, Marshall and Isley Corporation, on the principles of quality and service. We are proud to carry on the M&I tradition. Lastly, like another coin issued by the Bank of Montreal, but the details, the last coin I have here to show you, I should say, was also issued by the Bank of Montreal. But the detail is so obscure as to be able to make any kind of a guess as to what the coin is or who is depicted upon it. I have included scans of this coin, thinking perhaps someone out there might be able to help me identify this coin, and if you can, please post it in the comment section and share it with our other viewers. So that's about it right now. Hope you enjoyed seeing this minor collection and hearing some of the history behind those who are depicted on them. Thanks for stopping by.